Ciao a tutti e bentornati a un altro episodio di The Breakdown. Oggi abbiamo un ospite super speciale, terza linea dell'Italia e della Benetton Treviso, ormai un attore della piattaforma Netflix sull'ultimo grande show Full Contact. Aspettiamo la seconda stagione. Signori e signori, Sebastian Negri.
Ciao a tutti.
Molto bene.
Good to be here. Thanks for having me on.
It's all good. We wanted to have you since the very beginning, and now it's the time. Christmas time.
I've watched all the episodes before, and they've been good to watch. So yeah, happy to.
Thanks, mate.
Involved.
Okay, all right. So let's start with the Netflix things, right?
Yeah, season 2 coming soon. I think 29th of January, just before the next Six Nations. So
A couple of days before, right?
a couple days before. And yeah, man, it's been a surreal experience, I guess. Obviously, from the first season, they sort of followed my story, because obviously my story is a bit different. You know, coming from Zimbabwe, moving to South Africa, what my family went through, what I went through, and my journey sort of to Italy and playing for the national team. My heritage, my father, him being Italian. So yeah, my story is a little bit different. So I guess
That was very entertaining during the first season, so everybody loved it. And on the second season, I think it's more rugby.
yeah, the second season will obviously follow Italy even closer, which is great for the Italian fans. And then, you know, they look at my sort of the next step in my life, how I've also come through another injury, how I got back into the team, and the success sort of the team, obviously beating Wales, beating Scotland. So I think that was a great taste.
Throwing front.
Yeah, exactly, drawing in France. So yeah, it was a good Six Nations, and that will be showcased obviously in season 2.
And we can't wait for that.
Looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it. It will be good. And also, you know, it was a year where I got married, so that'll also be a little part of it, which is good.
A big one of the most important
Which is, I'm not sure if it's the most important, but no, it's obviously.
But you had fun filming it over there as well.
Yeah, it was good. You know, a lot of people sort of don't really know what goes behind the scenes, but you know, the Italian Federation were really good in giving Netflix full access to us. And these people are obviously very kind. You get to know them, their families too, and get to know them on a personal level. So it's, you know, it was good opening up to them, and they've become our friends. So
The day of your wedding were 40 degrees. A perfect 35 something that was very hot. I was in Porta Santi 40 at a hosteria,
yeah,
having my beer with my sandwich, and then all of a sudden, few guys, well dressed up, showed up, and they were all talking English. Like, I know where you're going, guys. What can we have here? No worries, it's okay.
So it was,
Put it on Seba beer.
no, it was a special day. Obviously really hot to have the wedding in July. But luckily we're in the mountains a little bit in Belluno, so the temperature dropped through the evening. But the first couple of hours were really hot. But better than rain. So,
Way better than rain.
yeah, because you know my wife was, you know, just hoping and praying that there wasn't going to be any rain during the day, because everything had been planned for outside the villa. So
That's the biggest nightmare for any wife.
yeah.
For any bride.
And the thing is, I have to deal with the pressures. So you know, I can't control the weather. So it is.
It was more under pressure with this situation, or playing against the All Blacks with 80,000 people?
No, the wedding.
The wedding.
A lot more pressure. A lot more pressure. Yeah. No, the wedding is a lot more pressure than playing an international. Yeah.
Absolutely, I guess so.
Yeah.
Listen, but out of the Netflix experience,
Yeah.
so you loved it, as you said.
Yeah.
Would you think of joining the TV shows after?
Yeah, I think definitely it's given me an insight into what media is like. Obviously, a big company like Netflix, you get to sort of know the ins and outs of that, what happens behind the scenes. It's definitely something, and you know, I've got to know a few people within the company, so it's definitely an option that I'll maybe look at after my career. I enjoy speaking to the media, I enjoy interacting and giving the fans a bit of an insight. So it's definitely something that interests me. Whether I go into it, I'm not 100% sure, because I've still got a couple more years left in the tank to
You got
play.
loads of jobs to do.
I don't know if
We had a
I've
job to do.
I don't know if I've got a lot of years ahead, but if the body's all good, I'll go for as long as I can, and then after that, maybe the media world is something that I would like to dive into.
Commentating,
Commentating,
joining the stadium venue.
being maybe a pundit and just giving my insights into what I think, my thoughts around the game, maybe giving it from an Italian perspective, but obviously to a wider audience in the UK and Ireland, Wales, Scotland. So
I mean, in UK, it's what it's, that they used to do it like this, and then they improved a lot. There are many international players doing the TV shows on field.
Yeah.
Ugo Monye.
Exactly. So
Jim
that's
Hamilton.
definitely something that interests me. But we'll just have to wait and see. My focus is on the next game.
Absolutely. Next games.
Exactly, the next games, because it's a busy period now.
Yes, very busy. Yeah, you have right now is not the very best time.
Yeah.
In Treviso, and there's lots of expectation for Treviso and Italy as well, because the squads are both great.
And that's something new, because Italy has always been seen as the underdog, but now there's sort of an expectation for us to perform and to win games. So that's a different pressure to handle, but as players, you've got to take that responsibility. You've got to embrace that, and that's a different challenge for us. But also, there's no excuses anymore. People saying that Italy are a young team, or those excuses are out the window now, because we've got a team with experience,
young guns.
obviously there's young players still coming through, but those young players from 2-3 years ago have got 30 caps now.
No excuses.
There's no excuses now. It's Italy's time, and this is a really good cycle to be in, and we know that as players, and we got to embrace that. And that's you want to be tested at the best level, and Six Nations, World Cups, these are times where you got to embrace it, and we got to start winning games.
And also in Italian we say abbiamo alzato l'asticella. So you put the asticella, you lift the asticella over there. The level is over there. You won 2 games. You played very good games against France as well.
Yeah.
And then almost winning. We played very well against England as well. Ireland probably was the toughest last year. But because we know probably we suffer. That and then also it's like the most mature team in the Six Nations. So everybody is expecting a lot from the team. I think more the media from other countries are expecting many things from us.
It's changed. It's changed from I've been in this Italy setup for a number of years now, where I've been through the really bad lows, where they were saying Italy out the Six Nations, let's get Georgia in, and now it's sort of switched in terms of Wales are probably more under pressure now, and now we've got a target on our backs, and people have an expectation of us. They don't take us lightly. They don't think that Italy's a game where we can go and get 5 points. So we've got that respect back, but now it's now the time is for us to keep being consistent, to keep winning games, and to keep growing rugby in Italy. I think that's a big thing. We often talk about leaving our jerseys in a better place, and now is the time to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. You don't want to be a Welshman right now.
And so they'll come back. They got far too much quality, to be at where they are at the moment. They're obviously going through a transition phase, like we went through at times. After Sergio and Leo and Aledzani and those guys left, we also went through.
They left a big legacy.
Yeah, they left a big void in the group. When you lose that experience, it takes time to I guess find your identity again. And you lose big players like that, it's always difficult. So it's a transition phase, and the Wales are going through that now.
And they're going through now.
But they'll be back.
They'll be back. I'm sure they'll be back. I mean, they won the 2019 edition, and it's just 5 years. And it's just like the 5-6 years that we passed through, and then you passed through.
Exactly. And you see, like in the URC this year, Cardiff doing really well. Scarlets are having a better season, so you can see that they're on the up. So it won't be long before
It's
Wales are.
similar to what happened with Benetton playing well, but Italy not very well. And then
Exactly.
after a couple of years,
Yeah.
you know, you were very solid, such a solid team.
Yeah.
And then it became to have like
Yeah.
a very solid Italian side
For sure.
with ups and downs, because
Yeah.
the problem with the Italian crowd, Italian fans, that if you win against Wales in Wales, everybody thinks that you can win in Twickenham the day after.
Yeah,
But it's not. It's not like that.
It's not like that. It's not.
So and if you have those ups and downs, it disappoints a lot of people. But only only guys who play the game, and only people are close to you and to all the movement, really understand that it can happen to other sides as well.
100%. 100%. Yeah.
Would you sign as a West coach for 600,000 pounds?
For 600K, I would.
Have you read the Mike Phillips Twitter?
Yeah, I have. No, but in all serious, they'll be back. I'm expecting, obviously, the Six Nations to be probably one of the toughest that I've been involved in. Like I said, I think there's an expectation with Italy now, so teams are going to do their homework on us and not take us lightly. And I think it's going to be a big challenge for us. And also, we've got an expectation now to win games and be consistent. So I think the Six Nations is going to be really, really tough.
There is lots of enthusiasm between you guys.
Yeah, no, for sure. And it's a great, there's a great atmosphere within the group. It's a great team environment to be a part of. It's a really good group at the moment. But like I said, we got to take responsibility of performing and being consistent now. We can't have one game good and then lose 2 or 3 games and then another win. So, we got to chase that consistency, and we know that as players.
It's what you showed against the All Blacks. I mean, leaving the results aside,
For sure, yeah.
the attitude was great.
Yeah.
And this is what what I loved, like the attitude in the defensively.
Yeah.
Breaking this line.
No, exactly. And we got to do that consistently. So you can't have one week where maybe we don't perform well against Argentina and we let ourselves down, and then the next week against Georgia is like a final, because we all know the history behind the game and all the talk about Georgia and Six Nations and this and that. But at the end of the day, it was a final, and we won the game. We had many opportunities to put them to bed. We didn't execute as well as we would have wanted to, but we still got over the line, which again shows character from coming down from the first half, which was tough. Second half, we showed character. We beat them, and that to get the win.
What counts more?
Yeah, which is really important. And then to back that up again against New Zealand, and to show that fight, that character, and how much it means to be an Italian player, and against one of the best teams in the world. I think we did ourselves proud, and now we got to take that sort of momentum and into a big Six Nations campaign coming up.
Great. Ragazzi, prima di continuare la puntata, voglio ringraziare l'Home Rock Bar, che è la casa di The Breakdown. One huge step back.
Yeah.
You were born in Zimbabwe, as everybody knows from the Netflix show.
Yeah.
You moved to South Africa, then you moved to UK, and then you arrived here in Italy. And I guess it's like it's a massive luggage of experience for you to bring back. But you found the love here, and then you play for such an important team as Treviso.
Yeah.
And would you stop here in Italy for the rest of your days? Or?
No, we'll see. I mean, obviously, I've had a different journey to a lot of players, to a lot of people. Obviously, growing up in Zimbabwe, it's been pretty well documented what I went through, what my family went through. You're living a life on a farm and with open spaces, and suddenly you lose your home and everything in 12 hours. You get forced out of your house. Your sister's held at gunpoint.
How old were you?
I was about 8, 9.
Oh.
So it was an age where you probably don't know the full story of what's happening, but it's not good.
But the only thing you know that you have to pack your stuff. And
exactly. Well, my dad just came into the room and said, Seb, listen, we're going to go away for a while. Just pack a small bag, be very quiet. But at this point, you're hearing gunshots on the farm. Something's not right and happening. So you're a little bit nervous. You go into your room. I remember, you pack your small bag. You think you're just going away for a short while, but you'll be home, in a few days. And then Dad just saying, be quiet, get into the car. And, while this is all happening, my sister, they're saying that, Mr. Negri, if you don't get off your farm in 12 hours, we'll kill your daughter. And, it's something you see in movies, not, in reality.
When it's real life,
Yeah, it's hectic. But I remember my dad just saying, get in the car, turning all the lights off, and basically escaping from home. And me looking out the back windows, the last time I ever saw home again. And then quickly moving on from that, we had to, I think my mum tried to go and get a few things from the house and the farm a couple days later, and she was held hostage. So it was just a very scary time. But I guess that, that everybody has, a tough time in their life, and it's how you deal with that adversity, and how you come through it, and how you learn from it. It's easy for me to say, but I look at my mum and dad and how much they sacrificed for us. They've been through a hell of a lot, and for them to look at life so positively after going through something like that, losing everything within 12 hours, but keeping our family together, and showcasing what's really important in life, taught me a lesson for me going forward. So I look to them as huge role models, and
big role model.
yeah. And I sort of carry that throughout my career, the way I live life, the way I approach life, I guess, whether that's on the rugby field or away from the rugby field, with friends, with family, with my wife, with, the way I deal with things. So
The way you approach to anything.
yeah, exactly.
I promise you, this won't happen in Italy. Like, nobody's gonna.
No, exactly.
gonna
I'm very safe in the center now.
In the center of Treviso,
See,
nothing like this is gonna happen. I mean, I hope so. Otherwise, it's gonna.
no, exactly. No, I'm obviously very happy and very lucky, and so after that we had to move down to South Africa, and I think the first thing that my parents thought about was us children, and giving us the best education possible, and that was in South Africa. So we went down to South Africa, and
Did you move straight to Durban? Or?
yeah, we went to Durban, and we attended very good schools, and I think that's where my passion for rugby, really started. Obviously, the South Africans are known for how much passion they have for the game, and so I think that's where my passion for rugby started, properly. And
You always played rugby.
yeah, always. Zimbabwe is also big for rugby, big for sports. I played sport throughout my life, not just rugby, but other different types of sports. So, but in South Africa it was mainly rugby. And then after that, played through school, first team, and that's when I got picked up by Western Province, and after school I signed a contract with Western Province Academy. So I moved to Cape Town after school, which was an amazing experience, and played under 19 Currie Cup with Western Province, and then moved into the under 21 system. And as this was sort of going on, the Italian heritage started, people started asking, would I be interested to play for Italy? And Roland Di Marini was a big part of that. Andrea Eduardo was a big part of that. So, those people I owe a lot to, and that's when I sort of got into the Italy under 20 system. And then, after that, I had to make a decision whether to stay in South Africa, or maybe move to the UK or somewhere in Europe to study and also to play. And that was a big thing for me, and mainly for my mum, that I had to study something in case rugby didn't work out. So I moved. I got a scholarship to play rugby and study in the UK at Hartbury College, and then continued to play Italy under 20s and emerging Italy, and then obviously I signed.
You joined the guys in Chile, right?
For
under 20.
I was with them in under 20s in Chile, and then after that I got my first international cap while I was still playing at Hartbury, against the United States and Canada, and then after that I met with Pavanello and Benetton,
And the rest is history.
And the rest is history. And listen, it's been an incredible journey, and I never would have thought that I would have arrived at Benetton in 2017 and been here, for so long. And I love the city, I love the people, I love Treviso. I met my wife here. I've met so many special people, yourself included, and made great friends, and made a lot of memories, a lot of ups and downs too. It's not always been easy, but I'm very, very lucky.
I'm sure you. Seba, such a tough games ahead with Benetton and the Italy. Just tell us like a few players that I don't want to say you fear most, but like you fear in terms of like skills and then like maybe strength, power, but you respect at the same time. Like obviously you are 30 years old now and you're a role model to many young players, but still you have some opponents.
Yeah, for sure. I wouldn't say I fear anyone. There's obviously certain individuals that you respect more, but it always stems down to who you're playing the next week. So if I look at, for example, England, you identify their threats. So immediately in the back row, Ben Earl, really top player, physical, good ball carrier, good over ball. So I don't fear him, but I respect that he's a player that.
And you have to play in a certain way with him.
Exactly, and you gotta study and analyze what he's going to bring to the game. So we know that he's good over ball. He's going to disrupt the breakdown. He's a good ball carrier. So we got to stop him. We got to try and hold him up, slow the ball down. Another one, Ellis Genge, who obviously, I know off the field too. So there's also that respect, I guess. So that's just an example. Then obviously you look at Ireland, their back row, Doris, really top players. So there's respect for most of the players, I would say. Fear, probably not so much now that I'm a little bit more experienced. When I was a bit younger and you play in England and there's Manu Tuolangi and these top players, then
obviously it's different.
It's a little bit different because you're not as experienced and you're still a youngster, so you have a little bit of fear. But yeah, now it's mainly respect.
And now your job is to encourage your young guys.
Yeah, I think it's important just to be a shoulder for them to lean on. So if they need anything, or sometimes you just give a pointer out, or you help guys approach a game, or just give them an insight to maybe what it's going to be like. And yeah, you just want to be a point of reference to young players coming through, and just share your experiences with them, and know that your door is always open for them to to ask you questions, or
absolutely,
and support them really, because I know that now I'm getting on and getting a little bit older, so my role is sort of changing.
Yeah.
A lot of good young players coming through, Zuliani, Isako, these good young players that are coming through, and Ross Vincent, guys like this, you got to be a role model for them, and help them also,
Ross has another great story to talk about it.
Yeah, working at Domino's, delivering pizzas.
See, but great player.
Great player.
And great guy.
Yeah. One definitely to watch out for in the future. I would say, he could be really world class.
He's doing great.
Great athlete, good, and most importantly, a humble, good person off the field. And that for me is the most important. Then comes rugby.
See. But the back rows side of Italy,
yeah,
it's well furnished.
Yeah, no, for sure. And also for the next generation, there's a lot of good young players coming through. So
there's good competition between you guys, but
sure.
like it's good to have like you can play 6, 7, 8.
Yeah, as long as you find the right combination, I think it's important, and it's always important to have competition within the back row. I've had it throughout my career, and with Italy, if you look back with Sergio, with Jake Pellegrini, with Bram Stain, with Max, there's guys that have come in and out. Johan Meyer, another one. So there's always Blicata. There's been loads of back rows that have come and gone. So you got a responsibility to perform and do the best you can. Otherwise, there's the next young guy coming through.
Your jersey was never sure, but
exactly. You have to
you fought from day one
until
now.
Try and sacrifice as much of your body as you can, because that it's a difficult position to. There's a lot of competition. Yeah.
And also, I think playing this year the Champions Cup with Treviso lifted that bar that we were talking before even higher.
Yeah, for sure.
You guys it seemed like Treviso's not doing the best that he can do.
Yeah.
But still, the players are the same.
Yeah.
And it will be interesting to know, for all the supporters and for everybody, what's going on. But obviously, it's something way deeper than what you can see.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think listen, I think first and foremost, the players we got to take responsibility. You know, it's been a season again where now Benetton's expected to perform, to finish in the playoff places, to fight in every game. So teams are coming to Treviso and when they play against Benetton with huge amount of respect. They don't take us lightly anymore. We're a team that is full of quality, full of internationals. I don't think it helps when you lose so many internationals to the national team. So you lose 20 of your players for a certain amount of games. I think that's really difficult on any squad.
Yeah.
So I think that's something that has to change. I don't know how it's going to change, but that has to change because, you know, for November, you lose a certain amount of players. Then
February,
April,
March.
you lose a certain amount of players. And, you know, with that comes injuries. Like even now for November, you lose Lamero, you lose Canone, you know, two big players. So
Menoncello, Nato.
exactly. So you lose a lot of top players. So that's something, you know, we got to look at. But yeah, something's not clicking at the moment. It's been a disappointing campaign so far. Still time to make it right.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we got to take responsibility first and foremost. We got another big opportunity against Bath on the weekend, which will be tough, playing against basically a full international team. So that's not going to be easy. I think obviously with the Champions Cup, you know, also makes the season a lot more difficult because in certain times when you're playing on the Challenge Cup, maybe you play against a French team that sends, you know, a second team or an academy side.
Exactly.
You can maybe rest one or two players. With the Champions Cup, you don't have that luxury.
No.
Because you're playing against the best players in the world. So
Clermont being so tough.
yeah, it's every game.
Every game is tough. Every game.
So yeah, listen, it's also been a season with a lot of injuries. Things haven't gone our way. Maybe our attack hasn't functioned as well as it should have. So that's also something, you know, we got to look at. But yeah, I'm not gonna lie, it's been a difficult last couple of weeks. Yeah, hopefully we can make it right in the next.
The next victory will taste sweeter.
Exactly.
I guess.
Exactly. We're working hard behind the scenes, and that's the most important thing. We've got a great squad at Benetton. We all love, you know, playing for each other. The playing group, I would say, is very close. You know, we've got a really good group of players. So, you know, it's up to us, and like I said, we've got a big opportunity to put the wrongs right, and yeah, I'm sure we will do it.
You'll do it.
We will.
Yeah, you can sign the ball next to Umberto later on.
Yeah, he coached me. So
The
with
first-
the Emergenti
With Emergenti.
in Georgia, Tbilisi.
Okay.
So good experience with him. He was, you know, a good guy, a good coach. So I enjoyed it.
I really hope that you were one of the Umberto's guys. Not, but that it didn't happen. You're still one of the guys.
He didn't say too much to me, so I don't know if that was a good thing.
Because he can't talk English.
Exactly.
He only say coso che cosava il coso. That's it. Sorry, Umberto, I have to say that.
He was a good guy. He was a good guy.
Listen, you played in many venues. You played 2 World Cups right now. Is there any particular place that you really love to play, and then where you want to show the most that you have, like the best that you have, the best you can do?
Off the top of my mind, Twickenham for sure. In the UK, just because, you know, I studied in the UK for 3 years. I have a lot of friends, family in the UK. So, and then I think Twickenham's, you know, the home of rugby. It's an incredible atmosphere. So, I guess you always try and put extra gear.
Over there is different.
Yeah, over there is different. And also I like playing in stadiums where you're under the pump, I guess, and no one expects anything from you. So I enjoy those sort of atmospheres and proving people wrong. So yeah, I would say Twickenham's up there, and also the Millennium, the Principality now in Cardiff, and the whole build up around playing against Wales. You know, when the horses take you to the stadium and you have all the fans on the streets, and you know, that's a really cool experience. Obviously playing in 2 World Cups was really special. And then in Italy, I love playing in Florence, in Firenze, just because
that was special, right?
Yeah, it was special, and I think beating Australia there was an incredible memory. And then recently, obviously, the game against Scotland, in a row.
Did you play against South Africa?
No, I didn't. I was there the following year.
Ah.
I think, like, again, South Africa, massive win. Then a couple of years later, we beat Georgia. And then a couple of years later, we beat Australia. So
Special place, Florence.
yeah, I think Florence is a special place. And then, this last Six Nations, to beat Scotland in Rome was incredibly special, just because, Six Nations has always been so tough for Italy. I've been on the receiving end of so many losses, and that was just an incredible special.
A packed Olimpico stadium.
Yeah, a packed Olimpico, in front of friends and family, and to do it with that group of players, it was really emotional. It was really, really emotional, and a feeling just so worth it, just because I've done everything that I possibly could for Italy, and I've always sacrificed so much. So to get that win was incredibly important and special for me.
The cherry on top.
Yeah, it was the cherry on top. And hopefully, we're going to go on to better and much better things, and get some good results in the future. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Everybody hopes so.
Yeah, exactly. I hope so.
So put the last cherry on top for the podcast.
Yes.
Do the little sign. Lex Umberto.
Perfect. It's an honor. There we go. Can I do it at the bottom?
You should do whatever you want.
There we go, mate.
There we go. Thank you. Thanks for coming, mate.
Absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
I can't wait to see the next games. We'll be always supporting you and the guys. We expect a lot, but we'll accept any result. Okay? Thanks, mate.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
Abbiamo terminato questo episodio con Sebastian Negri di The Breakdown. Ricordatevi di seguire la pagina Instagram e di iscrivervi al canale YouTube, e se volete mettete pure la campanellina per notifiche. Ciao!